Yes, indeed. Welcome to the show. We just watched the Royal Rumble. We have Rumble winners. We have Roman Reigns, still the champion. We just saw Sami Zayn turn on Roman. Sami refusing to put the nail in the Kevin Owens coffin, instead using the steel chair on the Tribal Chief, which of course backfired on him because he just took a beat down. Welcome everybody to the show. Did you make it through the Royal Rumble? Did you survive the 4+ hour Royal Rumble show that we got here tonight? Very long Rumble. I'm seeing mixed reviews. I'm seeing a lot of people enjoyed it, a lot of people didn't. I think we're more in the didn't camp. Camp didn't. I don't know. I want to hear from you. I want to know, let me know in the chat what you thought about the Rumble. What was your score on 10 overall on this pay-per-view that we saw here tonight? Did you enjoy the Rumble? Were you happy with the Rumble matches? What was your match of the night? I want to know what everybody thought about the Rumble, because I was underwhelmed with everything. I know people are very excited about the whole Sami Zayn culmination and the story and everything, but we knew that this was coming, right? Like, we knew at some point Sami was either going to get turned on or he was going to turn on Roman. And Roman kind of forced his hand tonight. Roman Reigns gets the win over Kevin Owens. At a certain point during the match, Roman wanted Sami to give him a chair. Sami hesitated. The ref had fallen down, so there was an opportunity. Sami hesitated, eventually did get a chair to the Tribal Chief, but it was too late, and Kevin Owens hit him with a stunner and almost beat Roman Reigns, but Roman kicked out at 2. So there was already some friction there. Sami Zayn was ringside. He was there to help Roman Reigns. And then after the match, after Roman had hit a 3rd spear on Kevin, or maybe the 4th spear if you're going to count the one through the barricade, hits another spear on Kevin, 1, 2, 3, and he won. Sorry. Now, after the match, there was a beatdown. There was a beatdown of Kevin Owens. The Usos come out. They start beating up Kevin Owens. And Roman starts beating up Kevin Owens. Solo Sikoa's beating up Kevin Owens, and they handcuff him to the ropes. Roman is going to hit him with a chair and maybe end his life. I don't know, right?
And this is 12:05 in the evening, 12:10, we're going late here.
It's been going for a while. We just had some sort of country music guy perform.
Yeah, Hardy.
We'll get to that. But, at this point in the night, it's kind of taken a while, right? It's long, and Roman is kind of waiting to hit him with the chair, and Sami stops him. And this has all taken a while to get through, right? Mm-hmm. The beatdown of Kevin Owens is long. It was all long.
A lot of hesitancy, looking to the crowd. Should I do it? And the crowd's like, no.
Yeah.
A lot of that theatrics.
So Sami takes the chair from Roman. Well, Roman gives him the chair. He says, oh, you don't want me to do it? Well, you're going to do it. You're going to take Kevin out. And Sami's thinking about it and selling it and milking the moment. And eventually he decides, I'm going to hit Roman with the chair. And there's some anger in the ring. Jimmy Uso is mad. He kicks Sami Zayn in the head. Roman eventually gets up, and he starts attacking Sami. And then Jey Uso is there, and he's like, oh, I don't want any part of this. I don't want to beat up Sami Zayn. So Jey Uso leaves the bloodline. So we're not really sure how Jey Uso is going to fit into the group now and how that's all going to work. But Sami Zayn gets beat up. Roman hits him with a chair a bunch of times. And that's basically how the pay-per-view ended, with Roman and the Bloodline. Whatever's left of the Bloodline, it's Roman, Heyman, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa. Jay has left. Sammy has been taken out. And Sammy and Kevin in the ring just beat down and left laying.
The Bloodline is fractured.
Bloodline is fractured. Kevin and Sammy are all beat up, right? So that's how the show ended. And a lot of people I'm seeing are very excited about this. It was fine. This has been a long time coming. The story's been going for a while. Sammy decides to not attack Kevin Owens in this instance. I'm not really sure why. I'm not really sure why.
I don't know what the big difference is.
Why couldn't he have hit him with a chair? He's hit him in the balls. At War Games, he was down to hit him in the balls, kick him in the face, and then allow Jey Uso to splash him to win the match. What's the difference between kicking him in the face and hitting him with a chair? I guess here the chair is, because Kevin is handcuffed, so he's more defenseless. But I don't know. Sami Zayn has been able to do violence on Kevin Owens before. Tonight he thought, it's too much violence. I don't want to do this. But also I think that there was a part of Sami Zayn that decided, Roman's being really mean to me lately.
Yes,
Roman wanted Solo Sikoa to attack me on Monday, and now Roman's barking orders at me and telling me to do this and jump through hoops. And I think that there may have been a part of the Sami Zayn character that was thinking, these guys are kind of
enough.
Yeah, it's enough. They're getting on to me here.
I guess so.
So I mean, the story has been told well, but it's not captivating me. I think that if I was more captured by the story, I would be more into this pay-per-view. But, it kind of dragged. It took a while to get to the point. We got to the point, and now where are we? That's another thing that I don't really love about this is, okay, well, Roman is still the double champ. There's a thing with Sammy. There's a thing with Jey Uso. But Cody Rhodes has won the Rumble.
And no Dwayne.
And no Rock. Yeah, the lack of Rock is disappointing. It would have been nice for The Rock to show up at some point tonight to set something up with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but it really does seem like they have failed to put that match together, which is a real disappointment. So this pay-per-view for me on 10, I'm seeing some scores on 10 that I'm going to read here in a minute. But this pay-per-view for me on 10 was a 6, which is being nice, really. Because I think the action in the ring was decent. I thought we had a fine men's Rumble match, albeit uneventful. I thought Roman and Kevin was all right. The women's Rumble match wasn't very good. Honestly, 6 is being real generous. I'm being real. It's
Pitch Black.
Yeah, Pitch Black was bad. I don't know.
Alexa Bianca's not so good.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of redeeming stuff about this pay-per-view.
And it went long.
I'm going to go 5.5, to be honest. I'm going to drop it. Here I am. I'm thinking about it. And, that women's Rumble was pretty weak. There was a lot of just laying around, doing nothing. The men's Rumble had no surprises, no excitement, no big spots other than Ricochet and Logan Paul slamming into each other, which was cool. But other than that, Trans Am giving this pay-per-view a 5 on 10. I'm going to go with a 5.5. That's going to be my official score on this one. I'm seeing other scores. Harold Schneider gave it a 5 on 10. Yeah, see that? That seems about right. Harold Schneider dropping a super chat. Thank you, Harold. Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat. He says, thought for sure number 29 was going to be Genesis Johnny North. Doug is disappointed. Thank you, Doug. You're the super chat leader of the night so far. Tony Mack, member of the team, giving it a 6 on 10. Tony Mack says not the best pay-per-view to have stayed up for, predictable, short on surprises. And Tony Mack, I mean, we think it's late here. It's 12:30. Tony Mack is out in London.
He's up all night.
It's much later out there in England.
It's the morning now.
So shout out to Tony Mack, who has joined, who is a member of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net. Tony giving it a 6 on 10. Ryan Katz giving it a 6 on 10. Doug Hepburn giving it a 6 on 10. It brought our family together for a few hours. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to kind of hang out. So I'm giving it a 5.5. It's fun to hang out with my brother and watch a pay-per-view. My son was with us for a while watching the Rumble. I'm giving it a 5.5. What are you giving it?
Like around the same boat. Maybe I'll give it a 6. I enjoyed the men's Rumble. I thought like the first like 15 or so entrants to Rumble, like I thought it had a good steady clip. A lot of big hosses. Brock Lesnar kind of coming in there kind of early. It was fun. I had a good time with the men's Rumble. The women's Rumble was not very good. None of the other matches were that good, but like it was fun watching with you, my little nephew.
It's the Rumble.
Yeah, it's the Rumble. You know, it's like we watch it every year. You know, it's like it's a tradition.
Yeah.
But like whoever we read like various internet comments saying like this is one of the best ever. Like not even top 5 or top 10, even if I really look into it.
I don't know. For those people that said that tonight's Royal Rumble was the best Royal Rumble match ever, have they seen the 92 Rumble? Have they seen it?
2002, 2004.
I mean,
2010 was a really good one.
There have been some great Royal Rumbles in the history of the WWE, and I feel like people who are saying this year is the best either say that this year is the best every year because they're marks, or they just haven't seen a lot of Royal Rumbles. I'm not really sure. Anthony Plesia, who's a member of the team, he says the last match, post-match segment, was worth price of admission purchasing the pay-per-view. So he really liked that end segment. And yeah, I see, if you're into the Sami Zayn or Roman Reigns thing in a major way, that was kind of a resolution, right? At least it gave us something, and it puts us in a new direction. Probably setting up something between Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns and the Bloodline for the Elimination Chamber, which is just 3 weeks away now and is in Montreal, where Sami and Kevin are from. So there's probably going to be something there. But yeah, with a tear in my eye, Trans Am knows. Like the Ric Flair Rumble. The Ric Flair Rumble, to me, was the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. Not only because of the performance of Ric Flair and everybody else, but the lineup of talent in that Rumble was ridiculous, Leor says, another member over at join.ringsidereport.net, do support the Ringside Report Network and subscribe as well. If you are a member, you can call in and talk to us. Leor says the concert was ridiculous. Dead on with that. Men's Rumble was uneventful. Women's was predictable. Bray and Bliss continue to be a waste of time. Sami versus Bloodline storytelling was the best part. Yeah, I would agree with all that. I thought the Sami and Bloodline thing, it advanced the story. It got moving. It was a little slow in the execution. It dragged a little bit, but they got their point across. But I saw some people online like, oh, I was crying. I'm like, what are you crying about? Sami hitting Roman, the friendship of Kevin and Sami. It's just, I don't know. I liked Sami with the guys.
Yeah, to me, this is Sami Zayn getting shot back down the card.
Yeah, like he'll get a shot at something and they'll do something with him, but in 6 months to a year, where's he going to be?
I don't know, commentating?
I don't know. This was a big run for him, and now that he's not with the Bloodline, I mean, they're feuding with them, and then once you get past that feud, I don't know what you do.
Before he was with the Bloodline, he was in a pretty bad spot,
And he made the Bloodline more entertaining. Like he added something to Roman and the whole group. And Roman always had a reason to be suspicious of Sami or upset with Sami. It gave them an inner conflict that kept the group going. Now their conflict is with Jey Uso, which is super awkward because Jay and Jimmy are the tag team champions.
And that's what it was like before Sammy got in there. It was
Yeah.
like kind of like Jimmy was the one who's like, oh, don't listen to Roman.
Well, first it was Jay.
Yeah.
Jay, because Jimmy was hurt, so Jay was there, and Jay didn't want to be with Roman, and they had matches, right?
Like big matches.
And then Jay just kind of decided, oh, if I can't beat him, I'll join him. So he joined him. And then Jimmy came back and was like, Jay, what are you doing? Roman's mean. And Jay's like, nah, he's cool, he's cool. And Jimmy's like, oh, okay, I guess he's cool. You know? And now Jay is, like, mad again. So we're kind of back to square one, and it's just not...
Yeah, Sammy added a lightness to it, you know?
Yeah, he added another element to that group that is now missing. And the group is now Roman and Jimmy and... Solo, and they're going to have some sort of conflict with Jay, but they're in opposition to Sammy and I guess Kevin Owens too. And you would expect Sammy and Kevin to team up at some point and to go up against possibly the Usos at WrestleMania, but it's not completely clear at this point.
One little detail I noticed from the Sami Zayn turn is the way he hit him in the back with the chair, and also Roman's like reaction is the exact same way as when Seth Rollins turned on him with the shield, broke up the shield, hit him in the back with the chair, and then Roman's like, it was the exact same way of selling it. I think they planned that.
Okay, maybe. Callback. Anthony Plessia says he's going to be at the Elimination Chamber as well, so the ending of this pay-per-view could be huge for us here in Montreal. Like, I think you're right in a sense that, you know, Sammy and Roman and Kevin will figure into the plans for the Elimination Chamber. I just don't know what those plans will be. And again, I'm just not super excited about anything that they're putting together. I don't see anything that they could possibly do for Roman Reigns at this point that is going to be worth my time for WrestleMania.
That's not The Rock.
Because it's not The Rock. The Rock was the match. And now, like, what do? You have him face Cody? What are Sammy and Kevin doing here? What's the deal with Sammy and Kevin? What are they involved in? Are they going to become a champion? Is, you know, Roman going to have to put a belt on the line, but not both belts, and one of those guys will be champion or something? Like, I don't know what it's actually going to lead to, and I'm a little disappointed that that's where we're going. Because, yeah, I mean, oh, Kevin and Sammy will do something in Montreal. I mean, no shit, right? It would have been cooler if The Rock did something in Montreal, you know? Would have been a little bit better. We got to see like a Rock promo or something leading into a match with Roman Reigns. We're not getting that. And we're not getting the match with Roman Reigns that this whole tribal chief gimmick has called for from the start. And that's the disappointment to me, is that we walked into this Rumble thinking there's a shot at The Rock, and we don't get The Rock, and now it seems like The Rock and Roman Reigns, that big match that everybody expected to see at some point during the story, is just never going to happen. And that's a major failure from the WWE. They couldn't get The Rock. They couldn't get him to agree to do this match at WrestleMania, which means The Rock may never wrestle again. So, you know, Roman and Cody doesn't do it for me.
Not for Mania. SummerSlam, maybe.
Maybe, sure.
But not Mania.
But Mania, and then what is it?
With such short build, too. Like, they've never interacted. Is it going to be about how Cody's from the Rhodes dynasty and he's challenging the Anoa'i dynasty as being the top family in wrestling? Is that it?
It's weak. I don't want to see that.
With no Goldust?
Cody wants to be champion. Roman is champion. Like, I don't know how you build that in a way that I'm excited. You know, I get that maybe it's just, well, Cody's crowning moment, but it won't be because Roman Reigns is unstoppable. I mean, that's really what it is. It's like, oh, will Cody get the moment, or will Roman continue on his path? They could do that, but I don't know. This tribal chief gimmick, this Roman Reigns run, doesn't seem like it's out of gas. Doesn't seem like it's ready to be over. So,
no.
If it's not over, you would expect him to win at WrestleMania. But if he's facing Cody and Cody loses, like, that hurts Cody. That's not good if Cody wins the Rumble, gets a shot at Mania, and then loses. So
It's happened.
It has happened, but come on, man. Like, they're trying to push him. They're trying to make Cody into a star. And I think Cody should be one of the top guys in WWE, but I don't think he should beat Roman at this year's WrestleMania. I don't think the situation calls for it yet.
Yeah, this feels like it has to be a really worthwhile build because they've been building. Excuse me, Roman Reigns as just steamrolling everybody.
Yeah,
for years. That it has to be like either someone, you know, who's like been battling him for the entire time, you know, and like always coming. Like honestly, Kevin Owens beating Roman at Mania has a bit more of a better storyline feel because he's tried so many times and come so close.
Yeah.
That would be a bit more of a cathartic moment for the fans. That release of like finally he did it.
Even Sammy, I guess, if they put Sammy in there, Sammy versus Roman,
it's less credible in the ring.
It's less believable.
He doesn't take his shirt off.
No.
Well, neither does Kevin actually.
No. It's true. But it does seem less believable because of the way Sammy's been built as far as matches, but they could change that going forward, have him win a few, and who knows. But I just don't see it. I think Sammy and Kevin against the Usos makes the most sense, but now the Usos, like, who knows what's going on with them. And, you know, Roman and Cody at Mania, it's not bad, but somebody has to lose, and I don't think either guy should be losing at WrestleMania this year. I think both guys should be winning at WrestleMania and going forward stronger and pushing that even further. Because like you said, Cody's coming in. I mean, he was in AEW for a while. He comes into the WWE. He wrestles only Seth Rollins. I think it was 3 matches with Seth. Gets hurt. Disappears for a while. Comes back. He's number 30 in the Rumble. Barely does anything in the Rumble. Wins the Rumble. And then goes on and beats Roman at WrestleMania. Like, he's the guy that comes in and does that. I don't know. He doesn't, to me, he hasn't done enough during this run in the WWE to be at that point. Like, I would build him a bit more with some guys in the WWE. Beating Seth is good. Seth is one of their top guys, but that's all he's really done.
Yeah.
So I'd rather see Cody kind of built up a little bit more. I didn't want to see Cody win this year's Rumble. I wanted to see him win next year's Rumble. But, you know, they're giving him the Rumble.
Yeah, it's like it's a shame that Randy isn't active because like Randy would be a good opponent for Cody. They have history together. Him beating Randy would be a good kind of like credibility. But Randy, who knows if he'll ever wrestle again.
Randy would have been a great opponent for Roman too at this year's Mania. Yeah. They could have done that pretty well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to split the belts off from Roman because he's got both belts. Maybe they split one at the Chamber and do something else. Then, you know, it's unclear right now.
It's tough, though, because then you have Roman taking a pinfall. You know, that's tough before Mania.
I don't think you want to do that.
No, he looks wounded going in. That's the thing. They've put themselves in the corner with Roman. He can't look like weak in any way
unless it's like one belt,
meaningful match.
If they do one belt on the line, Kevin, Sammy, Roman, and, you know, Kevin pins Sammy or something.
You wouldn't put it up in the Chamber?
No, you could do like a triple threat type of deal. But, yeah, in the Chamber, if Roman's in the Chamber, then he would have to get pinned and get eliminated to lose that belt, which I don't think is wise if you're building him up to Mania when he's just not lost anything. Why have him lose right before Mania, right?
They did that once to John Cena, I remember. It was like Chamber in February, and he was the champ coming in, and like Edge, Ray, and Jericho all hit their finishers on him at once, and he was like out, and it was like, oh, we're gonna have a new champion at the end of this, and then I think he won it back at Mania, but that's like different circumstances. Like Cena was like more established, but like you could try something like that, but it's hard with Roman. He just doesn't lose.
Yeah, and if he does lose to Cody, right? Like if they're saying, okay, Cody's going to be the guy now. And
Crossroads is going to do it?
And he's going to lose to Cody at Mania because, you know, what do they do with Roman going forward? Like, how does Roman fit in? because this character doesn't really make sense unless he's at the top of the card.
Yeah.
You know? So if he's like just kind of a mid-card tribal chief, it won't work anymore. And they've built him so hard for so long to just kill it now where he's at this unbelievable peak of interest. Like, everybody's so interested in this Roman Reigns Sami Zayn thing, and everybody's giving all the credit to Sami Zayn. But if Sami Zayn doesn't have Roman Reigns to play off of, if Roman Reigns doesn't scare the shit out of you with one facial expression, you know, like, Roman kind of looks at Sami wrong, and the whole crowd goes, oh, no, you know? Like, everybody's giving it to Sami, and Sami's doing a great job. But Roman has done a fantastic job with all of this, you know? And that's why breaking them up now is disappointing, because a lot of the conflict, a lot of the drama, and a lot of the best parts of Roman Reigns has been with Sami Zayn and that kind of struggle, and, you know, will they or won't they, and how's it going to go?
Oh.
You know, like, it's a lot like, you know, in a show like say The Office, you know, like Jim and Pam, they were dancing around. Will they or won't they?
Giving each other little looks.
And that, but you're watching the show and you figure they're going to get together at some point, right? They're not going to tease us for this long. And it took a while, and they eventually got there. But once they got there afterwards, it's kind of like, yeah, all right, we're here now.
They have a kid.
And that's the problem with Sami and Roman. It's, you know, they're the Jim and Pam of the WWE. You know, it's like finally they've done it. They've, you know, got to their point of no return where they've broken up. And now it's like, okay, well, what do you do now?
Sami Pam?
Are they interesting at all? I think Roman's Pam.
Oh, Roman's Pam.
It's prettier.
Dunder Mifflin, this is Roman.
Yeah. You know, it's just,
yeah,
you know,
that.
Once you get to the point, like, a lot of it is the build. And then once you get to the actual point, you're like, what do we do now?
It's tough.
What do we do now?
You know, you've achieved, like, the first thing. It's like, you know, a lot of movie sequels, you know, you got to break everybody up again. You know, you just got to find a new reason to fight.
Yeah.
That's what they do, you know. Jim and Pam's like, oh, someone else is like, oh, is Jim going to cheat on Pam?
Yeah.
So for this, I mean, I don't know. The roster's a bit thin. It's not like, you know, it's the 2000s where it's like, oh, Mick Foley's in this thing now, you know?
Well, they haven't built anybody. That's another.
Yeah.
You know,
they sacrificed.
Another problem with the WWE is that they've sacrificed everybody for Roman Reigns, so they haven't really built anybody. So the only guy that they could salvage as credible is a guy that hasn't been there. He's been in AEW. You know, like Cody Rhodes is the only guy to come in. They're like, oh, he's new. He hasn't been completely destroyed by Roman. Let's use him, because they really have nobody else. They've used Brock. They've used Seth. They've used Kevin Owens. They've used Braun Strowman. Like, all their guys that they could possibly throw at Roman, Bray, they've all been beaten and kind of, you know, recycled. They're not interesting anymore. They're not fresh. So Cody's the only guy who they signed, who they brought in, who's got a name, who's good. But, you know,
Cody Rhodes, you know, like, he has a ceiling.
Well, I think he's very good. I think he was probably, you know, one of the best wrestlers in the world at one time. I think he still is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I think Cody's great. You know, I wouldn't push Cody to hurt Roman at this point.
Yeah.
You know, because you've done so much to get Roman to this point. Why kill it? And again, like that Rock match would have been the ultimate achievement for Roman Reigns, but it's just not there. And Leor says get Gunther to destroy Brock, Bobby, Strowman, and face Roman next. Like, I think Gunther is that next guy, but it's not there yet. He's Intercontinental Champion. He's fantastic, but he's not going to be put on that main event level. There were rumors of Brock Lesnar versus Gunther this year. That doesn't look like it's going to happen at Mania. It looks like Brock and Bobby Lashley are going to continue their whole thing. Brock Lesnar was in the Rumble tonight, eliminated by Bobby Lashley.
Pretty quickly, too.
Yeah, Brock didn't last too long in the Rumble, just over 3 minutes.
Edge was in the Rumble tonight.
Edge made his return in the Rumble, and The men's Rumble, not the best. Gunther had a very impressive performance lasting 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 42 seconds. He came in as number 1. He made it all the way to the end. It was Gunther and Cody at the end, the final 2. Gunther came in at 30, and Gunther did all the work in that match. A tremendous performance from Gunther. And, I was talking to John last night about the WWE, and I was saying, who is your favorite guy in the WWE? Because for years, for me, if you said, who's your favorite guy in WWE? I'd say, well, Daniel Bryan, obviously, he's the best. But he's not there anymore. So I was talking to John about who our favorite guy, and, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, they're
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, they're some of our favorite guys. But I also said Gunther. I said, Gunther is pretty much the best. He's fantastic. Everything he does is believable. He looks the part. His matches are great. Gunther is the man. And tonight, he showed the world that he's the man. Tremendous performance in the Royal Rumble. He didn't win the Royal Rumble, but his performance was a victory.
I hate the name.
Gunther? I'm getting used to it.
Just Gunther? I don't know. It just doesn't, just one name and Gunther. I don't know. To me, Gunther sounds just like very Euro trash. Like, yeah, my name is Gunther. Yeah.
I don't know. It's working for me. It's starting to wear on me. He was Walter for so long. Walter,
I like that better.
I thought that was good, but now Gunther. I'm good with Gunther. I think he's fine, and he's just a fantastic professional wrestler.
He's incredible.
He looked great tonight. Tremendous
power bombs.
Tremendous performance from Gunther. Tremendous. But we didn't see a lot of surprises. We didn't see a lot of big surprises in the men's Rumble or the women's Rumble, really. We had Booker T come out and get tossed out of the ring in under a minute. We had Edge come out and have a thing with Finn Balor and the Damian Priest, right? He had tossed those guys out of the ring. And then Edge was fighting with Damian Priest and Finn Balor on the ramp, right? And Rhea Ripley attacked Edge, but then Beth Phoenix came out and speared Rhea Ripley. I thought Beth Phoenix would be in the Women's Rumble because she got involved there, but I think it was just for that.
Yeah, it's
I think Beth Phoenix was there just for that spot with the spear. I don't think she's going to do anything with Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley won the Women's Rumble.
She had bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, but the Men's Rumble, very uneventful. Very uneventful. When we got to number 27, we're getting down to it, and it's Braun Strowman. You're like, eh. And then 28 is Ricochet. You're like, what? I thought we were going to get some cool guys in this Rumble. Ricochet is 28. And then 29, you're like, okay, there's 2 guys left. One of them is Cody Rhodes. Who's 29? And it's Logan Paul. And I don't think there's any WWE fans other than my buddy AJ, who's not really a WWE fan, but an actual WWE fan. I don't think there's an actual WWE fan that's excited to see Logan Paul.
You can feel in the crowd, they're like, You feel the disappointment in a lot of the crowd tonight, especially with the ladies number 30.
No one cares about Logan Paul. No one cares. People outside of WWE like him. He's got a big fan base, but WWE fans, when Logan Paul comes out at 29, it doesn't do anything. And then Cody Rhodes comes out, and of course he wins.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio got taken out backstage. He never came out at number 17. Dominic Mysterio, I guess, took him out, came out with Rey's mask. And
Dominic was in the match for a considerable amount of time.
Yes.
Considering his talent. That was another problem. There was a lot of interesting guys who were eliminated far too quickly. And then the actual Rumble match, a lot of Dominic, one of the Street Profits, tired Gunther, Sheamus, Drew. They lasted a long time. There's a lot of guys. Who else was in there a really long time? Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Seth Rollins was in there for 37 minutes.
Wasn't
Drew
doing
McIntyre
anything.
in there for 39 minutes.
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano in there for half an hour.
Gargano in there doing nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Johnny wrestling my ass.
Yeah. And Kofi Kingston tried to do a thing.
Oh, second year in a row.
Second year in a row, it
Kofi
doesn't
now
work.
botches his thing.
Yeah, Gunther tried to like toss him out of the ring, and Kofi tried to land on one of those announcer chairs, and Woods was supposed to like hold it steady, but Kofi just had too much velocity, crashed into the chair, fell down, Woods fell down, and that was it.
He hit his head on the table.
It looked really bad.
Looked like he kind of hurt himself there.
I don't know what happened there, but it was a total mess.
Poor Kofi. You must be pretty upset tonight. Because that's what he does. That's what his whole thing.
That's what he was known for, and then 2 years in a row,
yeah,
it doesn't work whatsoever. This one was bad.
They needed Big E on that spot to hold that chair.
Yeah. Harold Schneider, who's been a member for 20 months over at join.ringsidereport.net, says Gunther is in the ring is very good, not elsewhere. Yeah, his promos are lacking. I agree. Leor says, so the men's Rumble, not great. Once Cody came out, you knew he was winning. I mean, at a certain point in the match, when Logan Paul came out, you knew The Rock wasn't coming because Cody hadn't come out yet. So you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess Cody's coming out and he's going to win. And then he did win. And it was just very predictable. A lot of people were predicting Cody. You were hoping for a surprise. You were hoping for something different. They gave us this kind of Cody weeks of video packages and build up, and then he just comes in and wins the Rumble at number 30. It's just it doesn't have a big impact.
Not at all.
Right? It's just
there's no suspense.
Yeah.
At all. Totally telegraphed.
Like, I want to be happy for Cody winning the Rumble, but I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, Cody won the Rumble, but he was kind of supposed to win the Rumble, and he came in at 30, and then he just won.
This was The Rock. This year was The Rock. WrestleMania, L.A.
Yeah.
The build, years and years and years of the Tribal Chief now, like 2 years.
The big match,
they've been cultivating this thing for 2 years.
I mean, more than that. I mean, it's been 8 years. 2015 when Roman won the Rumble and The Rock holds his arm up and the crowd boos and Rock looks at Roman, like that is the moment when everything should have started. Yeah. And when you booked this stadium like 2 years ago in Los Angeles, you should have booked The Rock. You should have known, and they just didn't. And they didn't get it done, and that's a huge failure on the WWE's part. It's huge.
And also, I mean, I don't know like what The Rock's management and his team were thinking, but like in his career right now, The Rock could use a nice big ovation from the wrestling fans. He's not in a great spot right now.
Yeah.
I keep getting articles after articles about like how much of a pain in the ass it was to deal with him for the Black Adam movie, how he, was saying how he has to go over everybody, and it's all about him wanting to fight Superman in a movie that's not going to happen. It led to the entire the DC movies being totally overhauled, and he's not going to be in another one of these things. Like, The Rock is in like a bad spot in Hollywood right now.
Yeah, he's not as loved.
He's got shot down the card.
Yeah, he's not as loved as he once was. His momentum is turning, and a little wrestling boost would help.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it, and he may never do it now, because there's never going to be another match that calls for The Rock. Not like this.
No.
Not like this, not right now. This was the moment. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns doing the thing, double champ, WrestleMania in Hollywood. This was the time. And they didn't get it done. Rock couldn't do it. He didn't feel like he could get in shape. Whatever the hell the reason was, they didn't get it done. And that is a failure.
Yeah.
It's a failure because that's the biggest match you could have possibly done. Cody and Roman is all cute and fine, or Sammy and Roman, or whatever the hell you want to do at WrestleMania. It's not The Rock and Roman. And you could be a guy that doesn't like The Rock or whatever, and that's fine. You could love Cody, and that's fine. But you cannot deny that The Rock is the biggest name you could possibly get in a wrestling ring. The Rock and Roman Reigns makes a lot of sense and is the biggest match you could possibly do at WrestleMania or in all of pro wrestling, period. And the fact that WWE couldn't get it done for the biggest show of the year is a failure. And whatever they're doing is second best. It's not the same. And tonight, they should have set it up, and they didn't. And that tells me they don't have The Rock. That's not good. But they have Nia Jax.
Rock's cousin.
You know? Like, Triple H is bringing back the worst of the worst. Bray Wyatt and his bullshit. Nia Jax and her non-ability. I mean, she is awful. She was awful tonight. That women's rumble was not good. A bunch of people came out that no one gave a shit about. Zoe Stark from NXT.
B-Fab.
Indy Hartwell. B-Fab. I mean, all these people that came out, it was just a jabroni fest.
Xia Li.
Chelsea Green came out. It was kind of like, oh, Chelsea Green, you know, her and Matt Cardona are a big act on the indie scene. She comes out, she's in and out in 4 seconds.
Which tells you how they feel about that.
Yeah, they probably won't keep her around. Rhea Ripley had a magnificent performance. She starts the match as number 1. Liv Morgan started at number 2, and they went all the way to the end. It was Rhea and Liv at the end, and Rhea won. Rhea, Asuka, and Liv. Asuka came in with a new look. She was one of the highlights of the show tonight.
Yeah.
Asuka came in with a new look, new face paint, new haircut, new gear, and she looked in top shape. Like, she looked in much better shape than the last time we saw her. Her movements were crisp and fast. She looked amazing. She looked like a top act, a top star, and somebody that the WWE can do a lot with. It was a really nice time to see an Asuka refresh. A different Asuka tonight was really nice. And I think going forward, we're going to see big things from Asuka, and I'm very happy because she's always been one of my favorites. So that was, I think, the high point of this match. Asuka and Rhea Ripley's performance. Rhea Ripley got punched and busted up early in the match. I think it was on a botch move with Dana Brooke. Dana looked awful.
Oh, my God.
Dana looked terrible tonight, but I think something happened there, and Rhea's nose was all busted up. She was bleeding within the first 5-10 minutes of this match, and she lasted over an hour to win. Rhea Ripley was magnificent tonight. She is such a star. A few people stood out to me. Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Raquel Rodriguez. They all had great performances.
I liked, from NXT, Roxanne Perez.
She looked all right.
Because she was, I think, the only one who entered that match and just started, hitting moves traditionally. When you enter a match, you get your, I said, House of Fire.
Yeah.
Started, going, nobody else would do it. They just, a lot of the ladies, when they came in, they just went to the corner, started punching or doing something. But she came in, she's hit my move over this one, and someone else comes in and did the little turtle whirl, Hurricane Rana.
She has some cool moves.
She had, a psychology to her. She had a thing about it. She's tiny.
She's so small.
Liv Morgan made her look, small.
Yeah, when you're smaller than Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega somehow, what the hell? How small are you? She made Zelina Vega look big. Zelina Vega's 3 feet tall. I don't understand.
I was impressed, though.
Yeah, Roxanne Perez is good.
Damage Control.
Damage Control was doing well. Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Bayley had a nice run there. At a certain point, though, Becky Lynch took them out. She took out Io. She took out Dakota. And then Bayley from behind took out Becky. So they're continuing that whole thing. But then somebody took out Bayley from, I think Liv Morgan eliminated Bayley right after that. So that's how Bayley and Becky got eliminated from the match. Piper Niven came in. She's no longer Dewdrop. She's Piper Niven. She looked all right. But Raquel Rodriguez, I thought, had a really good showing. She's a star. Rhea Ripley, like I said, she was my pick to win the Rumble, so at least I picked one of the Rumbles right. I kind of figured Cody might win if The Rock didn't show up. You know? I mean, I figured he would win if The Rock didn't show up, right? If there was no Rock, Cody was
an obvious pick.
The smart pick.
But then, after number 29, you think, okay, here comes the countdown for number 30.
Who's number 30 going to be? It's going to be a mystery, and it's Nia Jax.
Oh. She returns, and it's a botch. How about that?
I'm not surprised. Her whole career is a botch. So her graphics shows, they have graphic screens on the
apron,
on the apron. So you're watching the match, and all of a sudden it says Nia Jax on your apron.
And the music starts.
And the music didn't start yet, I don't think.
Because there's like a banging that kind of starts. It was like...
So, but the countdown hadn't started. They beat the countdown by like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
They jumped the gun on the entrance. She comes out.
And then they flashed the countdown on the screen to be like, oh, and then they like took it. I was like, forget it. And Michael was like, oh, here comes Nia.
Yeah, they flashed the countdown on the screen because they're like, oh, maybe let's. But they're like, no, she's already out. We already know it's her. And Nia Jax came out, and she looked awful. Like her wrestling seemed to have gotten worse somehow.
Yeah,
it was bad, and the crowd didn't like her. I think there was supposed to be a positive reaction for the return of Nia Jax,
really?
But nobody likes Nia Jax. She doesn't have a big fan base, so people were mostly like upset, I think, that she was even there.
Yeah, you could hear there's just like indifference in the crowd.
Like, this is
murmuring,
number 30?
like,
oh, God.
Yeah, like not quite booing, but just like it's a sour taste. And she was sandbagging.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley couldn't get her up. I mean, Nia Jax was not taking bumps for anybody. She was terrible. She was awful.
And they seem to indicate that she's going to be back on a weekly basis.
I hope not.
Because it's like, I think like Cole's like, Nia Jax is back! And I don't know if he said for good, but like something like, or here to stay.
I hope not.
Ugh.
Rhea Ripley went up for that riptide. She went to slam Nia and just kind of had to drop her because Nia wasn't going with her.
No.
Rhea went for the riptide. You're supposed to jump a bit. You're supposed to help. Nia wasn't helping at all.
That look Rhea gave.
And Rhea gave her a look like,
it's like, I've been in this match an hour.
You're not going to help me? What the like, Rhea gave her a look like, you fucking.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Why are you here? Please leave.
Yeah, this is my show.
Insane. Yeah, Nia was garbage.
Oh, my God.
And I'm not like a big Nia Jax hater because I
No.
think sometimes she has some decent matches.
You had a good segment defending her when everyone was down on her for being unsafe. But
Look, I think that there are some good points to her. Her size, her look, there's some things that play to her advantage. But her mind, her wrestling mind, and her ability in the ring. And she looked, forgive me, but she looked in worse shape.
she did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. She hasn't really been...
She did, like, Asuka came in looking, like, trim and, like, in top shape. Nia Jax looked like, she looked bigger.
Yeah.
She looked like she
like
let herself...
in her prime,
like
she looked like she could pack a wall. Like, she could,
she looked more, more muscular before, but she just looked kind of...
Just got up off the couch.
I don't want to say anything derogatory. You know what I mean?
But, like, as an athlete...
As an athlete, she looked heavier than the last time we saw her and not with muscle, right?
Yeah.
So, she didn't look good. She wasn't moving well. It was not good. Doesn't look like she's planned on wrestling anymore.
Yeah, that's the...
Yes, fatter. Trans Am saying fatter. Yes, that is what we're meaning, but
yes.
I'm trying to be nice about it.
'Cause, yeah. Like, not from, like, a aesthetic standpoint.
No, it's just she didn't move well.
Yeah.
And she was
like
she was
a baseball player,
She was noticeably bigger. Like the last time we saw her, she didn't look that way.
Yeah. And it seems to indicate that, like, she had no interest in going back to the ring, but I'm guessing her other prospects dried up.
Yeah, what else is she going to do? What else is she going to do?
I'm sure she can find something.
So that Women's Rumble match, not great overall. A lot of time spent where no one was doing anything. People were just in the corner, sitting, lying down, and there was nothing happening. At least in the men's match, things kind of flowed and things kept moving. That women's match, it was dead. And then the other matches were just utterly stupid. Bray Wyatt and LA Knight did the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. It was thankfully only 5 minutes long. It was absolutely horrible. Bray hit the Sister Abigail, pinned him. They had blue lights on. They had like flashy costumes. Bray had some face paint. It was terrible.
Mountain Dew logo in the ring.
Mountain Dew logo in the ring. And then after the match, Bray beat up LA Knight and took him down to the stage area, and there was a structure, and Uncle Howdy appeared on the structure and dove off the structure and completely missed LA Knight, and then Fire Pyro came out.
Jumped over him.
Jumped way over him.
You can see LA even on the ground shifting.
To try and get near him.
But, like, it just didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
LA.
And
then the next segment was another, like, Uncle Howdy thing with the
Wait, but we didn't mention the life-sized puppet characters that appeared on the structure after Uncle Howdy did the dive. Uncle Howdy, last time we saw him with Bray Wyatt, he attacked Bray Wyatt, but this time he helped Bray Wyatt attack.
It's so complicated.
I don't really understand what's going on, nor do I care to attempt to understand. The match tonight was garbage. The Mountain Dew pitch black gimmick was absolutely ridiculous. It was an insult to pro wrestling. All this Bray Wyatt stuff is pure garbage. It's spooky nonsense. He's not saying anything. It's not deep. There's no layers to it. It's just dumb. If you think you're reading into it, you're not. You're dreaming. There's nothing. There's nothing there. It's thin. It's empty. There is no depth. It is pure trash. And then when we finally get to the match, it's some bullshit like this. It's all bad. They never should have brought Bray Wyatt back because he's terrible. Whatever his ideas are, whatever he does, whatever his creative is, it's always down to this type of bullshit. And the matches don't help.
No.
He's not a great wrestler. I don't know what he does that's great. I don't know why people talk about him like he's this great creative mind. Maybe he's a nice guy and a fun guy to hang out with backstage, and that's why his fellow wrestlers and some of the people, that pay him and put him in these positions like him. Maybe they do it because they like his dad. I'm not really sure. I mean, he looks the part. He's got a cool look, and when he comes out, his entrance is pretty good. As soon as that's over, there's nothing there. There's no promo. There's no wrestling. There's nothing. Yet people continue to get fooled, and they continue to like him. Some people, I guess. I mean, most people are seeing through the bullshit at this point, but, we're still seeing him on pay-per-view. He still wrestled at the Royal Rumble. Say what you want about Vince McMahon. He was right about Bray Wyatt. Did the right thing. Fired him.
Well, they fired him because he cost too much, I think.
Whatever. But he wasn't worth the money they were spending.
Vince loved Bray, though.
Wow. He didn't love him enough to keep him.
No, but he promoted him a lot. I still remember on the Austin podcast, he was like the four guys in the company forward are the Shield and Bray. Like, no question.
Yeah, he did love him and he did push him, but eventually he fired him, which,
But I think it was a money thing more than anything.
Maybe.
Because it was during COVID, so they're like, we can't, like...
Yeah, but he didn't fire Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns or anybody like that.
They brought more value.
Of course. There's something there.
Yeah.
There's something there. There's some entertainment value to Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I mean, is it a ton of entertainment value? Depends who you are. Depends who you ask, I guess. Yeah. Bianca Belair beat Alexa Bliss, hit her with the KOD. It was not great. And then after the match, there was some spooky graphics on the screen, and Alexa looked scared, and that was that. It was terrible.
I thought she embraced all this weird stuff. Why is she looking scared?
I don't know. I thought she was into it, but then she's not into it. It's just awful. It's just awful. Leor says LA Knight is so much better than Bray Wyatt. It's a shame Bray gets so much TV. I agree. I think LA Knight is better than Bray Wyatt. Much better. Yeah. I like that yeah he does. Like when he says yeah. He's not bad. Like his promos are all right. There's something to LA Knight. He's not bad. I kind of like him.
I hate the name.
Yeah, I don't love the name.
Sounds like a bad restaurant, or I don't know. Also, did they ever say what the LA stands for?
Los Angeles?
Like, is that it?
I have no idea.
Or is it like Lawrence Alexander?
I don't think it stands for anything. It stands for La. He's La Knight.
La Knight.
La Knight. Yeah, it was. The match was bad, but I do like LA Knight's promo. I think he's all right. He's better than Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
doesn't say much.
But just, the fact that we had this spooky stuff back to back with the Uncle Howdy and the Bray Wyatt and then the Bliss stuff after the Bianca Belair match. And there was so much like spooky talk before the match. When it came down to the match, it was just kind of regular with Bianca and Bliss.
There was nothing really spooky. No special effects. Bliss wrestled normal.
Yeah. Except for after the match when she got, like, scared by the graphics that before she was embracing. Before they were, like, on her side, and then tonight she's, like, scared.
That's going to keep going on. Maybe the doll will come back.
Yeah, like, we're not done with that, right? Like, she did a thing, and Bliss is... I think Bianca's probably done with Bliss, but Bliss is still involved in a way.
Feud with somebody else.
Yeah.
What's Shotzi up to?
I hope we don't get to see too much Bliss. Oh, Shotzi returned tonight.
Yeah.
Big deal. I mean, they had these returns tonight that you're like, oh.
You were off TV?
Okay. Like Dana Brooke, I guess we hadn't seen in a while. Shotzi we hadn't seen in a while. Natalya we hadn't seen in a while. B-Fab, I didn't know she wrestled, but, she's around pretty regular.
Tegan Nox.
Xia Li had a stick. Tegan Nox is around once in a while. Piper Niven, I guess, came back looking different, like with a different name. But other than that, it was kind of same old, same old. Michelle McCool came out, Undertaker's wife, Michelle.
Yeah.
She was in the front row, and she was number 25, so she came out from the front row sitting with her daughter.
Jancy and Fancy.
Yeah. So she comes out, and she was in the Rumble for a bit. She was all right. She was basically the big surprise, right?
I guess so.
Of the Women's Rumble.
She was in there for a considerable amount of time.
Like, this is it. You're expecting, like, people were expecting The Rock and Stone Cold. Instead, we got Michelle McCool, Nia Jax, and Booker T.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people were expecting something big, and the surprises for the Men's Rumble were Booker T and Edge, who, we've seen Edge pretty recently, and I guess Logan Paul was a surprise, but no one really... Logan Paul and Nia Jax were the surprises in the Rumbles that no one really cared or wanted to see.
It's weak.
Women's Rumble, you had Michelle McCool and Chelsea Green as the big surprises. Like, what?
It wasn't that much of a...
That's what we got?
Not much of a payoff, either.
Ah.
Like, we had Pat McAfee on commentary.
Pat McAfee and Corey Graves sound the same. I don't know who's...
They sound so much goddamn like the same person.
And Michael Cole just sounds like their dad trying to shut them up.
Yeah.
It just sounded like Michael Cole was the grown-up in charge of Pat McAfee and Corey Graves, who at first seemed like they had friction, but as soon as the broadcast started, they were like two idiot buddies, trying to outdo themselves with their stupid comments, and then Michael Cole just trying to settle everything down. It was bad. Commentary was bad.
And they're full of
I don't like Pat McAfee or Corey Graves. I don't think they're good.
Things like they said Mark, one of them called someone
McAfee
Mark.
talked about somebody taking a bump.
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to do here? What is pro wrestling these days? I don't recognize pro wrestling.
I didn't say finish.
Yeah, I don't know. People like Pat McAfee. I don't know. He got a big pop when he came out.
Well, it is Texas.
And he did play football, so I guess there's that.
Just,
I don't know. It was not great commentary.
King of the Hill taught me that like if you were like a backup, guy in football.
Yeah, you're loved in Texas.
Big Willie Lane.
Like, I grew up on Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse Ventura, Macho Man, Mr. Perfect, Vince McMahon, Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross,
Tony Schiavone,
Tony Schiavone, Mike Tenay,
Larry Zbyszko,
Dusty Rhodes, Larry Zbyszko. Those are the guys that did commentary when I was growing up, and they were all fantastic.
Everybody was good.
Everybody was good.
Everybody was good. Even like with WCW, people were like, "Oh, these guys are like Tenay, Schiavone, and Healy." People were like, "Oh, they're all old. Who cares?" But like, if you think about it, it's like that's a fantastic lineup of commentary.
It was very good. I loved hearing Dusty Rhodes on commentary. I remember people used to shit on Dusty's commentary, but he was fantastic.
It's legendary.
He was great.
Got a bicycle.
I mean, there were so many guys. They were all great. I loved Macho. Macho
Love
Man was great
Macho.
on commentary. Mr. Perfect, when he would do it, he was always great on commentary. Roddy Piper, when he would do it, was always great. Like Vince was fantastic.
This is
Like
incredible.
everybody was great on commentary when we were growing up, and now on commentary, everybody is terrible. Everybody is just garbage. There are a few guys in pro wrestling today that are good on the commentary. They don't work in the WWE, though. Kevin Kelly, I think, is probably the best play-by-play guy in all of pro wrestling right now. He does the New Japan broadcast. He is the best, I think. I think he's the best guy going today. I like Caprice Coleman and Ian Riccaboni, too. I think they're really good.
The Impact?
No, they're Ring of Honor guys. They did the Mark Briscoe Jay Lethal match with Excalibur on Dynamite this week. They're great. Caprice Coleman is a great color commentator, and Riccaboni is great play-by-play. They're very good.
Where's Joey Styles?
I don't know, but he's, he's not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we had some great commentary teams. Jim Cornette used to do commentary too sometimes. Like, man, there were some talkers back then.
And Heyman every now and then.
And now it's just like, come on. Don't tell me Pat McAfee's good. I used to watch Bobby Heenan, you know?
Come on.
It's not the same.
Corey Graves?
Like, these guys, they don't measure up. They don't measure up to the guys that come before them, and it's not even close. It's not even close. Like, people talk about, Renee is a great backstage interviewer. Have you seen Mean Gene? You know what I mean? Like, there were these people that did pro wrestling broadcasting that were just at a level that doesn't exist anymore.
Even when Bradshaw was on commentary, it wasn't that good.
No, he was all right, but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
CM Punk, he was good on commentary.
Yeah, CM Punk was good on commentary. I want to end on this. Before we go, we've talked about the Rumble, but there was some big news in pro wrestling where Seth Rollins commented about CM Punk.
Dressed like Rob Zombie.
And, yeah, he's dressed like a cowboy. This was an interview that he did. I think I could actually play this for you. I believe I can. Yes, here we go. If you didn't see this, oh boy.
Big soundbite.
Yeah. This is a good one here. Let's see if I can get the audio going for you here. Here we go.
Midwest boy with ROH roots. We don't know what's going on with CM Punk, but you guys have had some barn burners in WWE. Would you like to see Phil Brooks back in WWE?
Oh, Philly Phil, stay away. Stay away, you cancer. Get away from me forever.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't like Phil. He's a jerk. Oh, did we just figure that out? No, everybody in the room is like, oh no, dude, did he say that? Yeah, no, he's a jerk. Come on, we figured it out over there. We knew it over here. I don't want him back. Go do something else. Bye-bye. Bye.
Wow.
Over there. Like that.
They figured it out over there. He's a jerk over there talking about AEW. We knew it over here. Go do something else. Like, stay out of pro wrestling. Bye-bye. I don't like Phil. He's a jerk. I mean.
It felt real.
Seth Rollins was not holding back. That was very real, and it's just amazing to me that he would be so candid. Stay away, you cancer. Get away from me forever. And that apparently is what Chris Jericho called him, like a cancer to the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
But, so many people have come out in defense of CM Punk. Dax from FTR and, different people here and there are saying, CM Punk. Jade Cargill, I think, recently said CM Punk was such a nice guy and very helpful.
Danhausen likes him.
Danhausen,
they still text, I think, together, take pictures and stuff.
Like, there are people that like CM Punk, but clearly Seth Rollins is not one of them. Those are some
I find that
bold
one interesting, too. Because Seth Rollins, like we're talking, it seemed like he owed a lot to CM Punk in a way. Like it seemed like at the time, like when he was a young guy, making his way up, Punk was the guy kind of looking out for him, it seemed like. Like, there's like a CM Punk DVD documentary they released when he was still WWE. I think it was called Best in the World.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a special feature on there where it's like CM Punk's talking about how he was in ROH and Tyler Black and Punk chose him at like a tryout or something, was like, you're a guy and, I think you have what it takes. And like, that meant so much to him and like, because Punk was someone he looked up to. So
and I thought
the Shield,
Punk wanted the Shield to be a group with him, and he wanted Moxley and Rollins, and I think somebody else, Chris Hero, but
he
then
wanted those guys to be promoted
because he liked those guys and he wanted to do stuff with those guys, but they gave him Roman. They made Roman the guy in the Shield instead. But Punk seemed to always be a proponent of Seth Rollins, but obviously something soured in that relationship because Seth telling him to find a new career. Don't come to WWE. You're not welcome back in AEW. Get the hell out of the business, basically.
Makes you think.
I don't like him. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, like that's like a total 180.
He didn't like
he never like Punk was trying to bury him his entire career. Like that's that kind of statement.
Yeah, it was interesting because you didn't expect it, and you didn't expect it to be so forthright. Like, he was just like, no, he's bad. I don't like him. Get away forever.
Everything short of fuck you.
Yeah. It was quite a statement from Seth Rollins. I was a little bit surprised. So,
yeah.
Cool. I thought that was cool.
It was interesting.
And again, like, I talked about it last Friday when they showed that Raw 30th anniversary video package with no CM Punk. And then I watched Raw, the 30th anniversary show, and they had pictures and highlights of Raws in the past throughout the show. Not a single mention, image, anything of CM Punk. So he's just persona non grata in the WWE, and you could tell that some of their top guys agree with that. Agree with not having CM Punk around.
And the wrestling business, you know, where there's tons of, like, horrible personalities and all these kinds of things.
Yes.
For, you know, like, how
bad of a guy does he have to be to make you hate him that bad? Because there's some low-life scumbags in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
What did Punk do?
Yeah.
People seem to hate him.
What? Like, it's like you have to, like, think, like, almost use your imagination. Like, you can't just be like, he sat quietly in his locker room and, like, bit my head off when I said, hi, Phil.
I don't know.
It can't just be that.
I have no idea what he did to Seth Rollins to make Seth Rollins say that, but clearly something. Maybe we'll get the story one day. But Punk, people seem to hate him, which is disappointing because he's really good at being on TV as a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, like, his matches are very good. His promos are very good.
His presence.
He's very good. He's one of the top stars in the business still today, and it's too bad that everybody seems to hate him, or at least a lot of people in the locker room seem to just outright hate him. Not even dislike him or just not care for him too much, but, like, deep-seated hate.
Yeah. It's just like,
Yeah, why? And for Seth to just go off on him.
Yeah.
And I don't know Seth Rollins to be good friends with Kenny or the Bucks. Like, maybe he's close with Kenny? Possibly?
Maybe?
I don't know.
But, like, it's not well documented.
Yeah, I don't know if Kenny and... I know they've wrestled before. I know they know each other. I've seen them wrestle in Ring of Honor.
But is that enough to, like, everyone pick sides?
Maybe they, you know, they've wrestled. Maybe there's a relationship there. And Kenny and Seth talk, and, you know, Seth is just upset with Punk for things that he's done or Moxley is saying. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but Seth, they found out over there. We know over here. Stay out. Find a new business. You know, like, man.
Like the only thing I could think of, like, would is like, you know, like Punk texted Becky at some point,
or insulted Becky in some way,
or
maybe.
something like that. But, like, you know,
I don't know.
Something like, you know, personal. You know, like.
But Punk seemed to have a really good relationship with, like, the women's locker room in AEW. Jade Cargill said nice things about him. I think Britt Baker said nice things about him. Like,
he was available for, like,
I don't
advice.
know. I don't know.
And not in, like, a creepy way.
No, I don't think so.
It's a weird one. Like, someone's got to just come out. I mean, Punk has got to come out and talk about it.
Well, I mean, he's going to tell his story. He's not going to say, you know, I'd like to know why Seth hates him.
Yeah.
Like, what is the background on that? What is the genesis of that hatred? Where does it come from?
Yeah, because it seemed like they had a decent enough relationship.
You would think. Like, at one point, Seth was saying nice things about him while he was in WWE, but, but when he left WWE, I think he turned his back on a lot of his friends.
Didn't take their calls and stuff.
Yeah, so maybe there's something there.
Maybe, but
I don't know.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Like, books need to be written. Things need to be, like, put on paper and just, like, definitive.
I would say Punk needs to do a podcast, but maybe not. Punk tends to get people sued when he does podcasts. But imagine a CM Punk podcast where it's him talking, saying what
like,
he's...
just him.
He'd probably get sued.
Like, some kind of a slander.
I guess. Yeah, I would imagine. I don't know. He'd have to do it with a lawyer present. I don't know. But, yeah, there are stories there, and eventually we'll find out. But that Seth Rollins just coming out saying, yeah, I hate him. He's terrible. He's a bad guy. Everybody knows. Like, what?
Like, we know why Edge doesn't like him.
Yeah, that's fine. But, man, Seth... Yeah. Well, Edge,
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, you could trace it back.
Yeah.
You could figure it out.
Does Edge not like him?
I thought so. I remember he used him in that promo with the, like, people on other shows are using your name.
Yeah.
You're in their head, And
yeah, well, because Punk used to date Edge's wife, and it didn't end well.
And
Punk dated Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
And it didn't end well with Punk and Beth Phoenix, so I think maybe there's some residual stuff
like,
there, but I don't even know.
At least there, like, you could, like, point to something and be like, oh, that could be something.
There could be some
but with
heat there.
Seth, it's like, there's no documented, like, anything. No shoot interview, no, like, backstage heat between Punk and the Shield. Or
yeah, it was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They haven't been around each other in years. What happened?
Yeah, for it to be like, I don't talk to him. Instead of just saying, I don't talk to him, I don't know about him, whatever, he's doing his thing.
Yeah, he could have just left it.
Go away, never come back.
Yeah.
If I see you, I'll cut you.
Like, he went, he went so hard.
Like, don't find me in the streets. It was like that. It was like a rap beef.
He went, like, all the way, and it was like, you could have just been like, yeah, we don't really get along.
Yeah, he's got his problems.
He could have kept it like, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I heard he had his problems over there. I don't really know. But he's like, no, I don't like him. We don't like him. Everybody knows he's a bad guy. Yeah, he's a jerk. I don't like him. Nobody like what the hell?
It was interesting.
I mean, I like when people speak their minds like that. So good for Seth. It was, if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. I like it. Doug Hepburn says the female ring announcer tonight was outstanding. Finkel would be proud. Yeah, maybe, but was she anywhere in the ballpark of a Howard Finkel? And that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that there was a level of tremendous talent in the broadcasting section of the WWE that I don't think we have anymore. You had Finkel's, you had Mean Gene's, you had Gorilla, you had Ventura. Chimmel was all right, but he's no Finkel. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because these are the guys we grew up on, so they'll never be better, but
Finkel, though.
I don't know.
Finkel just had that.
How do you beat Howard Finkel? Yeah, you can't beat that.
That voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed with was it Samantha Irvin? I think her name is.
Yeah.
She does like a little bit of She's like, Roman, hooray!
I haven't noticed that.
I don't know. That's something I noticed.
Yeah, I mean, she's fine, and they're all fine, and Lillian Garcia was fine, and they've all been fine, great. But none of them have been Howard Finkel.
Hamilton, like he was blonde. He's doing Shinsuke.
Yeah, I mean, there have been ring announcers that have been okay. Justin Roberts is fine.
Yeah, I like Justin Roberts,
but he's not the Fink.
No.
There's been decent backstage interviewers: Kayla, Renee, Todd Pettengill, but they're not Mean Gene.
Terry Runnels, I liked her as a backstage.
Sure, but
yeah, but Mean Gene, it's just. But Mean Gene just, he had, like, relationships with different wrestlers.
But see, like, I grew up on Gorilla and Vince, but also JR, and I think JR is the best play-by-play pro wrestling guy of all time.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody beats Jim Ross. Just the calls, good God almighty, he's broken in half, that man has a family, all that shit. I mean, come on.
When, my favorite is when Hogan dropped the first leg drop on The Rock at Mania, ET. He beat Andre the Giant with that move. It's just like, it's true, but also just like that statement,
Yeah, the hyperbole from JR was fantastic.
The history.
He was great. He was great.
Incredible.
Jim Ross to me is the best ever.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like, nobody's close. Nobody is close.
And when people do like an like a wrestling announcer parody or something, they're doing JR.
Yeah.
They're going, by God!
Yeah.
Oh, that music! You know, like they're doing JR. When people do like a generic wrestling, like play-by-play guy in parody thing.
He is that prototype.
Yeah.
He's the man. We love you, JR. Okay.
Over sooner.
So that is the Royal Rumble post show. I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
We've been going almost 2 hours. It's almost 2 a.m. here Eastern time. It was a long Rumble show, 4+ hours. I'm giving it a 5.5 out of 10. You're giving it a 6?
Yeah.
What was our match of the night? I think my match of the night
Men's
is
Rumble
probably
for
the
me.
Men's Rumble. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree. But I didn't
I
like it.
mean, it's slim pickings.
Yeah, Men's Rumble, match of the night. But I think that's pretty much everybody's match of the night. I want to give a shout-out to all the members watching here tonight. Doug Hepburn. Doug's also our Super Chat leader of the night, so thank you, Doug. Doug supporting the Ringside Report Network out in Kingston, Ontario. Shout-out to Leor, member of the team. Over at join.ringsidereport.net. Harold Schneider has been a member for 20 months. Thank you, Harold. Harold dropping a super chat, too. Thank you, Harold, for supporting. Other members, I saw Anthony Plesia. Shout out to Anthony. Thank you. Tony Mack out in England. You could finally go to bed now, Tony. And I think I saw Jason Pete in the
Sasha
chat
Lagarde.
as well. Was Sasha Lagarde in the chat?
Or he renewed his membership.
There you go. Well, shout out to him as well. Shout out to all the members and all the subscribers, all our new viewers here tonight. Join.ringsidereport.net if you want to join. $5 a month and support the channel. But you can also subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. It helps us a great deal when you leave a comment, helps the algorithm. But also subscribe. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. We're almost there. I'd be real happy if we could hit 2,000 subscribers in the near future. So let's get there, all right? Help us get there. If you have not subscribed already, subscribe to the channel, and you'll get 7 days of good luck, courtesy of me, all right?
1 week.
That's 1 week. You know about days. This guy, he's smart. He knows how many days are in a week. Yeah, he's proven it with his fingers. He has to count with his fingers so he knows, because otherwise he gets confused. He's not that smart. Okay, thanks, everybody. We love you. And we will see you again on Thursday night for Ringside Report MMA. We've got some MMA to get to. Hey, Fedor Emelianenko is going to fight next Saturday for Bellator.
The last Emperor.
Last fight for the last Emperor, I think. So we'll talk about Fedor coming up Thursday at 8 p.m. for Ringside Report MMA. And then more pro wrestling. Myself and Johnny North will talk everything going on in the world of WWE and AEW. And I'm sure a lot will go on this week in the WWE. All the fallout from the Royal Rumble, the Bloodline, and all of that. And then AEW has a tremendous Dynamite show this week. We've got Hangman Page against Jon Moxley. Bryan Danielson against Timothy Thatcher. And another big match.
Yeah.
Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe in a
No holds barred?
No holds barred for the TNT title.
That should be good.
It's a pretty solid lineup for Dynamite coming up on Wednesday. So a lot of pro wrestling to get to. Every Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, right after SmackDown, tune in to Wrestling Uncensored right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.